How's it going? Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Today we are going to be doing a whole bunch of gluing and even positioning some more carpet. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. Okay, so we got all this folded back. A little bit, actually a little bit more than the halfway point, because right here is center. We got every bit of this down through there because we got everything laid out, lined up where it needs to be. Now I can glue every bit of this down through there. I am going to make an exception, and I'm going to stop maybe 1.5 feet here and 1.5 feet there and do my seams separate. I just don't want to take a chance of making a mess on the seams, so I would rather do them separately. So every time while I'm gluing that I get to a point like this one right here, I will probably stop gluing about right here because the seam goes about right there. So I'll leave myself about, like I said, maybe 1.5 feet from the seam. And then I will, after those are done, I'll fold them back, seal them, and glue them and let them set for a minute, and then do that. While this glue is setting up a little while, or however long it takes to do its thing, once it sets, I will come down here, get these other 3 pieces in. So the thing I've been doing, I cut these at the shop. The same cut, same spot I make my cut, I can put that same cut right back together again, like this right here. So this is actually where I cut it at the shop. Now I just take this very same cut, line it up, and put the same cut right back together. So technically I'm not making seams. The same cut's going back together. I mean, I am putting 2 pieces together, but now these down here, we had 3 different pieces this morning, and we had 3 different rolls to cut off of. And they was all made at the same time, same die lot and all that stuff, so hopefully it all works out. But this printed carpet, there's an issue with this stuff, the pattern not running with the rows. So that's why I've been, so far, putting my same cut right back together on everything else I've done. We're running out, we're down to the end, and we got the last 3 rows. So here on this seam, the next seam, and the next seam, they're actually going to have to be prepared seams. So I'll have to cut them and all that stuff and put them together. So I left myself about an extra 6 or 8 inches on each cut to do whatever I had to do to make it right. And they will be, we'll just get into that. I'll show you guys how I'm gonna make seams in printed carpet when we get to that point, okay? Right now, let's go ahead and get some goo on the floor. All right, see what's going on here. Check this out too. I left this not glued to the point of where the doors can open. So I've got a section right there for the seam. And also I want to point out something here as well on the edges. See right here, we got a little spot about 3 foot for our seam. And the same thing down there, about 3 foot for our seam. And check out here, I'm gonna point this out right here. I did not get, see that? Maybe a 1/2 inch from the base there. Maybe 3/4, something like that, nothing specific. I just left a little space between, from the glue to the base. That being, the reason for that is, because this is raised up, I'm cutting this with my carpet trimmer, and then I'm using this guy right here. So this is my cutting and trimming tool, or tucking tool. So I use this and that, and I simply trim it and tuck it. And I don't want to pull my trimmer out from the wall and I have glue all over it and reset it back down on the carpet. So hence, I left a little space of no glue between the edge of my glue and the base. Rolling. The more I use this thing, the more I like it. I never even thought about ever using it up against this. So you can see how this is right here. A little bit tight, which is exactly what you want. Normally a person would probably like curl it under and swoop it down there to make it right, or just tuck the fire out of it, however. But watch this. Ta-ta, son. That is beautiful. Look at that. Just that fast. That's exactly right. Cheeky, cheeky. Okay, we working on it, son. We got all of this is glued on both sides and stuck. I yet have to fold that over and cut it in, but everything else is cut in and glued down. And this other half right here, I've been keeping busy, so I ain't even had to go get those other pieces down here yet. Those other 3 pieces. We've been able to stay busy thanks to the fan. But anyway, won't be long. I'll be able to fold these back. Oh, excuse me. Fold these back. It seems here you barely can see. See right there. Anyway, there. Fold those back and glue them and seal them. I wanted to ask about these because I am no commercial guy. This millwork base and stuff like that. What do you guys typically, for those who do commercial, typically put these on with? It looks like I don't know, I almost want to say contact cement, but it don't feel like contact cement. It feels a little sticky. It definitely is sticky still. So, I mean, it's, what's this? See that? So it definitely, it just stuck in there just from basically falling on it. So it's still super tacky. And this thing, check this out. This piece the other day just barely got a little loose right there. And because that stuff is still like tacky, it just kind of started leaning and leaning and leaning. And when we got here this morning, the whole piece was just sitting on the floor. So it definitely don't hold very good at all. And another thing I was wanting to ask about this stuff is, I know I can obviously tell that it shrinks up because all of the joints are gaps, probably a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, every single one of them. The corners are awful looking, and look, even that, it's right there and right there. I'm not saying that somebody cut that short. I figure they may have cut it short, split the difference, I don't know, but I figure it's shrunk up simply because of every single joint looks like that. So my question, is there anything that a person can do about that? Look at that, dang. Can a person take, maybe super glue those or some kind of sealant, like a seam sealer? Obviously not a seam sealer, but I say super glue. I mean, I do that when I'm dealing with different trim pieces and stuff like that. I'll glue them together. What about a CA glue? I wonder if a CA glue would work on something like that to keep those pieces together so they wouldn't shrink and gap open like that. Let me know what you think about this millwork base and chair rail and stuff like that. Just the millwork product itself. There's got to be a way to keep them from gapping open like that, and I'm curious about them. Again, I don't do them. I don't do that stuff. I've never done millwork base. So let me know what a person can do about that. I am extremely curious about it. Alrighty, we got these other 3 pieces in here now, and you see how I got them laid out here. Let's see here. I have, can't roll over there. There we go. So you can see how it's rolling out. We got all of the skinny down here on this end, which is this hallway. I almost got confused there. So I started right here, and I'll pull it all the way up here, pick up as much as I can, pull it back that way. Then when I get right here, we'll sit and spin it out and spin it out. Then we'll grab the end and drag it down the hallway there. That way the big part of it, the 12-foot part, will be here where it needs to stay, rather than trying to drag the 12-foot piece from down there up into this spot. So we done that, we figured that out through trial and error. I forgot to mention what type of vacuum. I told the gentleman I would tell him what I use for the subfloors. You see, I got it all the way down on hard floor. I always get adjustable one. It don't necessarily matter which one. These are the things you want to look for though. Canister vacuum, naturally. One that has adjustments for high and low carpet down to hard floor. That's important. Got to go down to hard floor. And also, it has to have a wand with a detachable hose. The kind that swivel right here, you'll see them when you start hunting them at Home Depot or Walmart or whatever. If you start hunting them and you see ones that swivel, it'll be advertised on it. Don't get those, they're garbage. Get your standard vacuum cleaner. One with the fewer bells and whistles is going to be best, okay? Now, these are household vacuums, so you do go through a couple a year. You'll definitely see me quite often. It looks like I have a new vacuum. That's because that is the case. But if I can spend 100, 150 bucks on a vacuum to last me 5 or 6 months, I'm down with that, because I would much rather push one of these household vacuums on the floor rather than a shop vac or this one right here for cleaning up a solid floor for whatever installation, glue down, carpet, whatever. Anytime I clean a solid floor, most of the time I'll sweep it and then vacuum it. This case here, I didn't sweep it, just the big stuff, and then I vacuumed over it because the glue ridges and stuff like that makes it hard to sweep. So I got all the big stuff and vacuumed over it that, and I actually had to empty this twice. It does really good. You can always give it the field test when you're done vacuuming. Go over it like that. If you don't feel gritty and stuff like that, you're good to go. If you feel gritty, go over it again. By all means, go over the whole floor, take the wand and the hose, and go around the walls, okay? All right, we got all the carpet in, laid down, and cut down, and everything is glued except for these last 3 pieces here. So we got quite a bit accomplished yet again today. Really been pleased with the progress we're making on this. Everything's going smooth, nice and fast. So you guys probably like, oh, that ain't fast, blah, blah, blah. You sure done been done. I know, but anyway. I just got this to lay down flat. This is going to be, we'll be putting the cut pile in there, a different color, and connect that. You can pretty much see what's laid in down there. Boom, boom, and then weight on there, boom. Those 3 are not done. Everything that's cut in is done except for the seams. That one right there, I left this out past the door, so we wasn't dealing with having the doors and the problems and stuff like that. So, but everything is done nonetheless, glued down. Everything is cut in, trimmed, and touched. It's all done. We got a seam here. We've been taking care of all the doorways this time, so we're not going to have that to deal with like we did last time when we got done with everything. So tomorrow, for sure, we will we'll come in, glue all the seams and glue the rest of that. We should get the install completely done tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So I'll tell you what, by George, we might be done a day early, but guess what? If we are done a day early, I'm just going to take Friday off. So anyway, we'll see what happens anyway. So that's working out real good with the dry line, making everything go. And this is, you guys may remember the carpet here in these rooms. They're, anyway, glad we ain't got no part of them. I'd much rather do a glue down installation in a hotel instead of a stretching. I do not like doing stretching in a hotel because of the tack strip situation. Most I don't know if I've ever will. Yeah, I have some of the low budget hotels, old hotels here in town when I was a kid, busting out rooms for $40 a room, doing 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Make some extra money before I even started working for myself. I was actually employed under someone else, the guy that trained me, or that I worked for first. Was working for him at the time, but that's the only time I've ever noticed of hotels being anything but Gyp Creek. They're always Gyp Creek. So I don't like dealing with this. Actually, I can't remember. It seems like when we're done some down here, I feel like it was Junkie Concrete too. Maybe that was upstairs. I can't remember. But anyway, I don't like dust stretching in a hotel. That's it. That is it. I'm gonna stop at the carpet store on the way home, pick up some vinyl plank. I'm gonna be working on my office this afternoon. I might show you guys what's going on at the house there. I'm actually taking a shipping container and turning it into my office. So I got lots of those little dips from the shipping container that I got to scribe around and all that stuff, vinyl plank. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this daily grind. Until tomorrow, FBSBZ.